Hello, everyone. Welcome to GA's Tea Time. We discuss all things General Hospital. If you haven't already, please hit the bell notification. The like and subscribe really helps the channel. And I want to send a special thank you for everybody that has already subscribed. So, guys, let's get our teacups, let's get our snacks, and let's get ready to discuss our favorite characters. General Hospital Daily Recap, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. Guys, it was a bunch of folks in this episode. We had Laura, Sidwell, Sonny, Alexis, Liz, Willow. It was a full house. So let's see what our favorite bunch of characters are up to. Willow came to the hospital to talk to Liz, and she handed in her letter of resignation. She said she's going to quit the job for now because she wants to focus on her family, that she got some visitation with the kids, and she want to make sure Drew is okay. So that's where her focus is right now. Liz was voicing her concern because she was like, taking care of Drew is a lot of work. You sure you don't want to put him in a facility? And Willow was like, no, no. She was adamant about not putting him in a facility. We all know that Willow want to keep her eye on Drew, make sure he can't say anything so she can pump up all that medication and also to torment him. So Willow, was just like, it's about family right now. And that's where her focus is at. And that's where Willow left at. And Liz was like, well, maybe come back in future. And Willow was like in agreement. She was like, yeah, once everything gets settled down, she'll be back. Laura called Alexis over, and Laura was telling Alexis, Drew's office is keeping kind of hush on how his condition is. And she kind of was asking Alexis, do you know anything? So Alexis was kind of telling her, well, she doesn't think that Drew's going to come back to office anytime soon because he's really out of it. He's incapacitated, can't move around, can't speak, stuff like that. So that's what Laura was saying. Okay, well, since she knows that, she wanted to offer Drew's position as congressman be to Alexis as Congresswoman. So Alexis is like taken aback. She was like, I've never thought about public office. On top of that, Alexis did bring up some good points. She was like, she's been arrested, and Laura had a rebuttal for that. And then she was like, she's been disbarred. So Laura was like, no, we could work around it. I want you to work with me. I think you'd be a good candidate and we could get some stuff done. So Alexis is still on the fence because she doesn't think this is a good fit for her, but we'll see where this goes. Tracy went over to Sidwell, and while she was over there, she said Max is awake, and now things are going to get done. And on top of that, she asked Sidwell for a complete audit of everything that he's bringing into through deception. And Sidwell was kind of stonewalling her. He was like not really answering her, and then he's kind of like, "Well, why you need it now?" and all this kind of stuff. But eventually, he just told Tracy straight out, right, no, he's not doing that. So I don't know how they're gonna handle this. He's like, he's not gonna give them a printout. So this means he has all this illegal stuff coming in is underneath the deception label with all of these people working there, and he's basically like he's not gonna give them any information on what he's bringing in and out of those ports. So we'll see where this goes. But he shut Tracy all the way down. Lucas. If you watched yesterday's video, I told you we are in the presence of royalty. Lucas is the new king of the stupids. I don't know what is wrong with this man. See, again, a character that seemed semi-intelligent before is acting so dumb right now. I understand that he loves Marco, but this is stupid. He goes over to Carly. He tells Carly that he knows now that she was 100% right. Marco's involved in Sidwell's business. So Carly is like, well, how much is he involved? And basically, Lucas is like, all the way. He's all in with his father. So Carly's like, you need to go to the police or the WSB. He wouldn't tell Carly what he overheard. That's another thing. I don't know why Lucas is not telling somebody what he overheard. But he didn't tell Carly that. He gave her an explanation without giving her any details. So Carly is like, you can't, at least don't go back to Windermere. He's like, no, he's going back to Windermere because when he leaves, he's taking Marco with him. Come on now, Lucas. Lucas, I'm telling you, I wouldn't be shocked if he gets killed or something like that because this is straight, I don't know. he's not making any kind of sense. Marco is involved. Yes, he's saying it's about Sonny, but it's more deeper than that. After the Sonny situation is taken care of, then what? You think he's just going to leave with Lucas? No. He is involved in his father's business. Lucas is being delusional, and he doesn't want to think that his boyfriend is a criminal. His boyfriend's a criminal. I'm telling you right now. But on top of that, two other things I didn't like. One, he was trying to compare Marco to Sonny, telling Carly it's the same situation. Carly was like, no, it's not. The other thing is that he did not even tell Carly that Marco's agenda is to get Sonny. I mean, whatever. What Lucas is asking for trouble, he's going to get it, and I'm not going to feel bad for him. Pascal told Sidwell he saw Lucas overhearing Sidwell and Marco's conversation the other day. See, I thought that he didn't see it all the way. I thought maybe he saw some of it. That's how Lucas got out. I'm shocked Lucas is still walking around. Honestly, I thought Pascal would try to get rid of him, throw him over that little parapet, or, just throw him in the basement where Anna was at. But no, they letting him come and go. So, Pascal was telling Sidwell, you need to watch out for Marco because Marco is all into Lucas and he gonna mess up their little plan. So Sidwell don't want to believe this. Sidwell's like, no, my son wouldn't do that to me, right? So at the end of the whole conversation, Sidwell was like, well, listen, if he sees that, if his son leaves out that house or he sees that Lucas is influencing his son too much, he said he will cry with Marco at Lucas' funeral. I'm telling you, Lucas, he is acting so silly for a grown man. He needs to get out of that house. He should have followed Carly's advice and don't go back. But again, whatever. He gonna push these folks, and Sidwell, we all know Sidwell ain't nobody to play with. Sidwell called Willow over to speak to her, and he was kind of like, oh, I know your husband is still out of it, but when things like this happen, a lot of times the spouse steps up and takes in for the husband. Now, he wants Willow to take Drew's seat for a year. And, guys, because Drew has a year left on his Congress seat. And Willow's surprised, like, he's bringing this up to her. How is she supposed to do this? I mean, she's supposed to go do this in Washington. And isn't Drew out of it? I don't know. I don't understand what Sidwell is up to. But Laura already asked Alexis to take this position. So now there's going to be conflict with this. So I guess Willow's probably going to blackmail Alexis into not taking the position, or Sidwell's going to go over talk to Laura and say, listen, no, Willow's going to take whatever. I know Willow don't want to be bothered with this because she got other agendas like torturing Drew. So we'll see what happens with this situation. I think this is a bad call on Sidwell's part. Rick and Sonny were having lunch at the Metro Court, and they were just talking about this and that. He wants to take over for Diane while she's out for a little bit. I don't know. I'm hoping that Rick is really trying to build a relationship with his brother and that he's not secretly working for Sidwell or somebody else. I really, really hope that that's what's going on and he doesn't have some other agenda. But anyway, Rick was trying to tell Sonny, maybe it'd be a good idea if he steps in a little bit for Diane while she's out recovering. While they're having lunch, Justine comes up. And Justine was like talking to Sonny and she said, oh, she wanted to give him a quick update on Rocco's situation. And she was just like, Rocco's doing a good job. They're going, he's running through his community service and he should be done soon. While they're there, they're being all flirty with each other, talking business, acting like they're talking about Rocco and some other stuff. And Rick is just looking at the two like, what's this? What is this? So Justine leaves and Rick came straight out and was kind of like, what's going on? So Sonny was like, no, if Justine come after me, I know she's a good person. She's not corrupt, so she'll come after me with legitimate stuff. I don't. That's silly to me that you want her to come after you, your criminal organization. But whatever. And Rick was like, "Do you like Justine as the district attorney, or do you like Justine as a woman?" So Sonny is kind of like what? You all know that Sonny likes her as a woman, and he wants to get with her. But we'll see what happens with that. I don't know. Whatever. It's like. So Molly and Nathan are talking, and Molly came out and asked Nathan, "Did we find any more information about Michael being linked to this to the crime of what happened to Drew?" And Nathan's like, "No, I don't have nothing." Molly's like, "She doesn't have anything." So they both like, "Okay, that's it. That's it." Molly's like, "Okay, I'm gonna excuse myself from this because she's too much of a conflict of interest. She's out, right?" um, Chase overhears them talking, and he's all in it, like, what's going on. So later he goes and he talks to Molly, and Molly is kind of like, look, I excuse myself from the case, because I know it's a conflict. And Chase kind of apologized to her, and he was like, oh, I didn't want to make it seem like, you were doing something wrong and nothing like that. And she's like, no. Molly's kind of like, no, it's true. It was a conflict. And sometimes we have to know when to fall back. So she's basically telling Chase, she knew she was a conflict. She needed to step back. She was telling Chase to do the same. He's too close to this case. Chase, over his head, he didn't even catch what Molly was saying. Next thing you know, he's over at Nathan's, right? So Chase says to Nathan, did you have any more information about the case? And Michael, so Nathan's kind of hesitant. He was like, no, kind of like, you shouldn't be asking about this. But anyway, Chase puts a little bug in Nathan's ear about how did Michael get into Drew's house? It was a forced entry to something like that. And somehow this all led to maybe Michael has a key to get into Drew's house, right? Because these keys were going around everywhere. Nathan takes this information to Dante and Justine and says, like it's his idea basically, and like, oh, maybe we should go check out and see if Michael has a key to get into Drew's. This is so far-fetched, and I'm just like, whatever. But they're gonna look into this situation. So Michael confronted Dante. Kind of asked Dante, are you mad at me? And Dante's like, yes, because he was like, he don't like that he lied about his alibi. But Michael was like, look, I didn't do it to you. I trust you. I don't trust the justice system, because you know what happened to Michael when he was younger. So Dante was like, yeah, but you should have told me, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why Dante thinks that Michael does. He know Michael enough to know he didn't do this, but whatever. This is the problem that I have when they put people into these types of positions, this police commissioner. They become boring, stiffs, and everything else. I really hope that Dante does not stay in this. I don't like that. It's like, he should know his brother. Plus, he's too close to this case. He should be off this case anyway. But these roles, whenever they give somebody like a higher up role, like police commissioner or head of this or whatever, anything in that law enforcement role, they make them like two sticklers or something like that. I don't know. It just don't work. And I like Dante. I actually liked him as a free spirit when he was younger. They kind of need to go back to that. This stiff Dante is kind of like, it don't work. So Michael's sitting there and Chase walks in and Michael starts trying to talk to Chase. He's like, look, Chase, we can't just be tiptoeing around the house. I didn't do it. And Chase is adamant about Michael did it. Yes, you did. You did it. Willow would never shoot anybody. Okay, maybe Willow didn't. We all know Willow did it. But let's just play devil's advocate for a second. Maybe Willow didn't do it, right? Why does it have to be Michael? I mean, there's 500 other people in this town that could have did it. Why is he so focused on Michael? See, that's the part of this whole situation that makes no sense. And we know he got a vendetta against Michael because he never looked at a suspect. It was all about Michael. So anyway, Tracy walks in and she was just like, if this is what you doing, Chase, you don't belong in this family. Like, this is crazy. Why are you still blaming Michael for this? So anyway, while they're going at it, Nathan comes in and Tracy's funny. She's like, how did you get in? So Nathan was like, the Eastern European man let me in. But anyway, he said, I have a warrant and I need to see Michael's keys. And Tracy was like, don't give him anything. Wait till your lawyer comes in. But Michael knows he didn't do anything to Drew. So he just gave Nathan his keys. Now, the situation is stupid because why after all the time, let's just say Michael did it. And why would you keep the key on your key ring? Who wrote this? It's like, who wrote this? No one's going to do this. So anyway, he went and he just gave Nathan his ring. Chase was a little shocked by that because he's like, there was no hesitation, no nothing. Michael just gave him the keys. But anyway, we'll see what goes. 88 Turner was talking to Dante, and she basically said, listen, I still think that Willow did it, right? And she also was telling Dante, if you smart, you'll get away from this case real quick because it's going to turn real fast. Like she was like, it's gonna mess up people's careers. So she excused herself from the whole thing. She's like, I'm out. She's trying to protect her career. She told Dante he should do the same. I'm with her. Dante need to get out of this. It is a conflict of interest. He shouldn't even be involved in this case. Let Mac handle the whole thing. But of course, Dante is all in it, like this is his job and stuff like that. I don't know. I think he need to get out. Molly saw Liz at the hospital and she kind of was saying, I was at the axe throwing place and I saw you and my dad there having a good time. And Liz was kind of taken aback. She was like, oh, you guys were there? She was like, yeah, I was there with my sister, but we left early because we didn't want to interrupt. So Liz was smiling, and that's kind of how the scene ended. I'm sure they're gonna pick up the conversation tomorrow. But guys, what do you think about Liz and Rick reconnecting? I told you guys yesterday, in my video yesterday, I was just like, at first I wasn't with it. I thought it was gonna be a little boring, but I kind of like them two together, and I'm really interested to see where it's gonna head. I do hope that they do have another storyline for Liz besides just dating Rick, but I think it'd be nice for them two to have a connection. But let me know what you think. So guys, that was the end of the episode. What did you think? If you have not already, please hit the bell notification and click the like and subscribe button because it really helps out the channel. And thank you again for joining us at GA's Tea Time. See you next time. Bye.